Hi everybody and welcome to Compensation Management. Today is Monday, November 7th, and I am broadcasting to you nearly live from my home office. Today we're going to be reviewing a concept that is extremely important to the course and is applicable to Module 5 and your term paper. So I want to review some concepts and then apply them to Wells Fargo, as Wells Fargo has been in the news recently. Now, the pay model is primarily a concept that we use in HR in order to explain to managers how we administer the pay system or the compensation system. And that has to do with job analysis and job evaluation. So what we want to talk about is the four policies that we administer. The first one is this idea of internal alignment, and that's where we're comparing jobs and job skills relative to others and how they make their contribution to the bottom line of the organization. Let me give you an example. In Wells Fargo, for instance, the legal department, the HR department, the compliance department, which is the department that validates or verifies stock trades and management of money, all cost centers to Wells Fargo, whereas the customer service and private bankers are people who open accounts, people who deal with the customers and convince them to open a savings account or to open a checking account, to open a credit card. And these are people who are rewarded differently because their jobs contribute to the bottom line. They generate revenue for every account they open. There's fees associated with that, and that's what got Wells Fargo into legal trouble to begin with. Is there were some quotas and on terms of opening. So I'll explain that a little bit later. But this idea is that different jobs are valued differently for internal alignment. The second is this idea of external competitiveness. We looked at this with the Medtronic case, and basically when you're talking about external competitiveness, we're talking about comparing jobs and what they're paid in the marketplace based on salary surveys. Salary surveys are usually published once a year, and they tell what the average salary is for what kind of job. If you remember in the Medtronic case, we found that their pay matched their values for human capital and talent. So they paid the best, and they also gave the best benefits to match their corporate values for treating their people wisely and managing them so they'll stay with the corporation, and also just value for human life. So Medtronic did a very good job combining all these together in what's called the pay mix. So external competitiveness then has multiple components, and not always that average that's published is going to be accurate. So that's an FYI from somebody that knows that if you're looking for a job, you have to really factor in the pay mix, not just the straight salary or hourly rate. So that's important. The next one is this concept of employee contribution. When we talk about employee contribution, we're talking about a flat rate or a pay for performance plan. Oops, sorry. Sorry for that distraction. That was a reminder. The pay for performance plan is a plan that will reward people and often leads to problems associated with equity and fairness because the rewards are not always transparent and may be based on some subjective manager decisions. And so that creates a problem, but it can also create the best incentive for doing the job. So that is flat rate versus, which is the hourly rate, versus this pay for performance concept. The last policy decision we're really talking about is management. And management is an interesting concept because it's matching the right person to the right job for the right pay to accomplish the right objectives, meaning bottom line usually, and doing it in the right way. With regard to Wells Fargo, we saw a good match all the way down the line until we got to the part of doing it the right way. And because there were job quotas, as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, there were incentives and disincentives for particular behavior. And if the customer service people didn't meet quotas and sell a number of products to make a certain amount of money, then either their bonuses in the pay for performance system were withheld, or they were even threatened with termination. So you can see that compensation management and the policies that go along with crafting a policy or an approach that recruits and retains the very best talent in the market is a very difficult decision that rests within usually upper management, is decided and disseminated by HR to various managers, and then the managers execute the pay policies. And so that is a quick review of the pay model and what we looked at in terms of modules 2 and 3. Okay, thank you for joining me. The next module I'll be moving on to discussing the upcoming module 5. Thank you.